The Discovery Sport has been around since 2014, and in that time there's been loads of tweaks and changes to keep things fresh. And you may not think it from the outside, but this latest model has actually had a pretty significant facelift underneath, because it now sits on the latest Range Rover Evoque's platform. So why have they done that? Well, it's a future-proofing move, because the new Evoque chassis allows for an electrified powertrain. So that means that every engine in the Discovery Sport lineup, or by the entry-level manual front-wheel drive model, and the poster boy P300e plug-in hybrid model, all offer mild hybrid technology, which in essence should make the Discovery Sport a bit easier to live with running cost-wise. So what is this all-wheel drive Discovery Sport up against? Well, if we're talking 7-seaters, which this particular Discovery Sport model is, then you're looking at slightly less premium rivals like the Peugeot 5008, the Kia Sorento, and the Skoda Kodiaq. But in terms of more premium rivals, then you're looking at the likes of the BMW X3, Audi Q5, and Volvo XC60, although they only offer 5 seats. So essentially this is a competitively priced premium 7-seater. Let's just get on with it. Actually, before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the Business Car YouTube channel so you can keep up to date on all of our latest video reviews. Right, let's go. So the big question with modern Land Rovers is usually, do they feel luxurious? Do they feel like Range Rovers? Well, yeah, it feels pretty plush in here. I mean, there's soft touch and spongy everything. You sit nice and high up so you tower over others on the road. And yeah, the fit and finish of everything in here is excellent. It's really, really high quality. And these seats just absolutely swallow you. I mean, I think they are some of the comfiest seats I've ever sat in. And it's practical in here as well. I mean, you've got these nice deep long door bins, you've got plenty of storage here for your phone and your keys, you've got 2 big cup holders, and this comes with a little cover that goes over it as well if you don't want to use the cup holders. You've also got loads of underarm storage here, which can actually be extended by taking those cup holders out. I mean, look at the size of that. Fit my arm in it? Yep, I can. Now, when it comes to the dashboard, I think Land Rover have got the perfect compromise between digital and physical controls. I mean, I love the fact that you've still got the aircon controls here, and apart from that, it is kitted up to the eyeballs in here. Again, very Range Rover. There's extensive parking cameras, a digital rear view mirror in case a tall middle passenger blocks your view. There's sat-nav, an array of comfort-orientated features. The works, basically. If you want it, you can probably get it. However, it's not all great, and maybe I'm being a bit picky here, but we are talking Land Rover, Range Rover, premium prices, so it does matter. But the infotainment system and this screen behind the steering wheel isn't great. I mean, it's fine, it works great. This screen behind here can be a little bit laggy at times, but you know, no drama. It's good, but it's just not fun. I mean, a lot of premium cars, let's say the likes of Mercedes, you can have hours of fun just fiddling around with, you know, a lot of them are pointless features, but they're pretty cool. But this is just, yeah, like I say, it does the job. It's just not, you know, it's just not going to blow you away in terms of top tech and sophistication. Now, the rear of the Discovery Sport is a bit more clean cut. First off, you've got these nice wide opening rear doors. It will also swallow a very bulky child seat quite easily. And once you climb in, there is tons of headroom and tons of legroom on offer. And you know what, for such dark upholstery, it actually feels really light and airy in here, which is probably thanks to these nice boxy windows, which I really like and kids will love as well. And of course, thanks to this glass roof. And come to think of it, this roof doesn't really impact on headspace at all, which is really good. Now, it's practical back here. You've got a fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. You've also got those similar deep door bins so you have in the front, and there's only a small hump in the floor as well, so moving about is very easy to do. Now, these seats recline, and there we go, they recline, and they also slide back and forth, which is good for the middle row, but it's actually more significant for the rear row. So, when accessing these rear seats, first off, they're quite heavy, which is important to think about if you want kids to be moving them themselves. They might struggle a little bit, and climbing back here is a bit awkward. Let me just move this seat so you can see what's going on. And once you sit back here, oh my God, it's your classic 7-seater medieval privy squat situation, which is to say you sit with your knees right up to your chest. And yeah, your head just about touches the roof and there's not much space back here at all. It is worth mentioning that sliding the middle row back and forth does free up a bit more leg room here, but ultimately you're going to impact whoever's in the middle row, so regardless of how you set it up, you are going to struggle to fit an adult in the middle and the back row. The cup holders are also on the floor back here. I'm assuming that's done to free up a bit of elbow room, but yeah, it is a bit awkward to access them when you're sat here. Thankfully, those 6th and 7th seats fold away quite intuitively, nice and flat into the floor like this. As a result, you don't get underfloor storage, which is a bit of a bummer. What you do get is a nice wide opening boot, a lowish load lip, so loading things in is very easy, and you also get auto folding seats in the middle, which is always a bonus. Now, unfortunately, you don't get anywhere to store this rather bulky parcel shelf, but that is a common nuisance with 7-seaters, so hey ho. Now, with all the seats folded down, you get around 1,800 litres of storage space. Now, what can that accommodate? Well, can it accommodate a double mattress? Yeah, it can. Still a bloody nightmare though. There are both petrol and diesel mild hybrids available in the Discovery Sport, and today we've got the D200 MHEV diesel, MHEV standing for mild hybrid electro vehicle. Now, this puts out 204 horsepower and you're looking at a 0 to 60 sprint time of 8.3 seconds, which is hardly sporty, but it's not exactly slow either. Plus, you get quite a decent amount of punch from this engine when you put your foot down, and overall it's a pretty refined diesel. Okay, you get a bit of a rumble when idle, which can be expected, but once you get up to cruising speed, that quiets down nicely. And this automatic gearbox does a good job of flicking up and down the gears as well, even under harsh acceleration. So what about its mild hybrid credentials? Well, if you didn't know this was a mild hybrid, you would never ever guess, which is to say fuel economy is so-so. I mean, if you're rushing about trying to get the kids to school, don't be surprised if you're looking at around 25 miles per gallon. Throw in a fuel dual carriageways, then yeah, maybe 35 miles per gallon. And if you're clocking up a lot of motorway miles, then it's not really going to get much better than 40 to 45 miles per gallon. Now, for company car drivers, tax-wise, that means you're looking at a 37% BIK tax rating for 2021 and 2022. But what's the Discovery Sport like to drive? Well, overall, it's lovely. I mean, these 20-inch alloys that we've got do add a little bit of firmness to the ride, so the 18-inch alloys on offer might be a better bet. But yeah, it's lovely, especially when cruising at speed. It definitely feels like a high-riding, road-domineering, luxurious SUV. Indistinguishable somewhat from a Range Rover, at least at motorway speeds anyway. The steering feels pretty solid as well. I mean, the only thing that really lets the Disco Sport's nimbleness down is the body roll in the corners. I mean, it does feel quite heavy when going into corners at speed. Not alarmingly so, just don't expect to rag it around a country road like this and have it feel sporty. I know it's a cliche, but you know, it's no BMW. Of course, being a Land Rover, the Discovery Sport is set up for off-road driving, and it will likely tackle whatever you throw at it, thanks to its Terrain Response 2 system and its 60 centimeters of wading depth. So you can feel confident in tackling hills in the countryside and driving through the shallow end of a swimming pool on your way. So, should you buy a Discovery Sport mild hybrid to save money on running costs? Well, no, probably not. So why should you buy one? Well, it's about the same price as a Range Rover Evoque, but it is more practical. It's not as fun or as fancy as its BMW or Volvo rivals, but it has got 7 seats and it's much more affordable. So if you want lots of practicality, a smart interior, off-roading capabilities, and the gloating rights of saying I own a Range Rover, I mean a Land Rover, same thing to some people, then yeah, it's a good shout. But if you forget about that badge for just a second, then it's almost impossible not to recommend something like the Skoda Kodiaq instead. In terms of the whole mild hybrid thing, honestly, unless you go for the plug-in hybrid, you're really not going to see great results at the pumps. Simple as that.